Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, Senator representing Taraba Central. My distinguished colleagues, I will quickly, read my motion. It's before you, but it's on. I will quickly read my motion. It's working. The Senate knows with dismay the recent crisis resulting in the massive destruction of lives, homes and properties, killings of cattle and other animals in the Sardauna local government area. Senate further notes that many settlements across the rural areas of the local government were attacked and some militia group resulting in the death of hundreds of people, loss of thousands of cattle and properties with worth millions of naira, while thousands of cattle were also rustled. Aware between 17th and 25th of June 2017 is on. Further aware that due to the barbaric killings, wanton and arsenic destruction of settlements and other properties by the militia, many have been rendered homeless. Presently in the various IDP camps in Groje, Gembuma and Dagadorfi in Nigeria and other refugees in Cameroon. Concerned that the killings of any citizen of Nigeria under any threat amount to serious violations of rights to life, rights to security to persons, rights to respect of the dignity inherent in the human beings, the right to property ownership, right to animals, to decent life, etc. Aware that all the disturbing crises which occurred in Taraba State in the past, this is the most voracious, spontaneous, devastating and barbaric in terms of loss of life, destruction of animals, human settlement properties. The scene is gruesome and numbers are staggering. Many lives have been lost, many cattle have been hacked, many have been rustled, about 100,000 persons displaced, mostly women, children and elderly. Not less than 18,000 refugees are in the Republic of Cameroon. Accordingly, the Senate resolves to observe 1 minute silence, and secondly, to condemn the barbaric killings of innocent people. Thirdly, to urge the federal government to take urgent measures to secure and protect lives and property of citizens and to prevent further breakdown of law and order and such attacks on the innocent citizens of the local government. Urge the federal government to set a judicial panel to investigate the immediate and remote causes of the killing and destruction of lives and properties and identify perpetrators with the aim of bringing them to justice. 5, urge federal government to station formidable military base and active police and civil defense presence and security surveillance in Sardauna local government area of Taraba State. Urge federal government of Nigeria as a matter of urgency to direct national NEMA to provide relief materials to the survivors and their families now in IDP camp. Contact the government of the Republic of Cameroon to determine the actual number of refugees and the animals in Cameroon. 8, urge the federal government to use United Nations High Commission on Refugee, National Commission on Refugee, misplaced person, entirely displaced person to consider the plight of refugees in Cameroon and urgently arrange for their proper care. Direct the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on internal crisis to determine all issues connected to the crisis through appropriate terms of reference, take a tour of the affected areas and conduct thorough assessment of the further investigation into the remote and immediate causes of the crisis and report back within 4 weeks. I so move. Thank you very much.
Senator Wakil.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Malam Ali Wakili, MNI. I am one of the co-sponsors of this motion. Your Excellency, it is with great heart that I rise to support this motion. It's unfortunate that I have always said that we have lost our values, we have lost our humanity. We are turning back to the Hobbesian state of nature, where life is nasty, short and brutish. We discover that we hack ourselves without the fear of God, without thinking that we are hacking human beings. We discover that we have decimated animals. That shows the degree of the hatred in us. And all these things are being caused of the fact that nobody's autochthonous in all those places that we are killing ourselves over those places. Nobody sprang from the soil. If you look at the history, everybody will say he is coming from across the Sahara to that places and settle down and other things. These things are very tragic to our country. We are moving from a failed state to a collapsed state in view of all these agitations, and that the government seems to be very serious. In this Taraba crisis, it has been reported that authorities were non-challenged, most especially at the local and the state level. We discovered that even the acting GOCs, that when there was lamenting that even the Boko Haram was sparing small children, but in this case, even small children were hacked to death, they were slaughtered, their neck was slashed and other things. That was very, very barbaric. The motion is very explicit, sir. I support it, and I call on all of us to support it and to pass it successfully, sir. Thank you.
All right, Senator Boychuk.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Emmanuel Bocha. I represent Taraba Staff. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I support this motion to the extent that lives were lost because of the sanctity attached to the life of a human being. One life lost is as important as 1,000 lost. I am pained. My heart go with the families of those who died in the killings in Mambila. Mr. President, I want to draw attention of this Senate to the failure of governance from the center, from Abuja here to local government, in protecting lives and properties of Nigerians. And this is supposed to be a primary duty of any government, be it federal, state, or local government. We have raised concerns about killings going on in Taraba for a long time. In Gaso, in Bali, in Ukari, yet there has been no proportionate response from government. And once this thing is not addressed, this is not peculiar to Taraba alone. In the southeast, in the southwest, in the north central, all over is killings, killing spree all over. People are not safe. Kidnappings and all that. Why can't this be ascribed to failure of governance from the presidency to the local government or the councillor at the council? I shared an opinion with a very high-profile security expert who agreed with me. Because whether we like it or not, there is a serious security challenge in Nigeria. And for those of us who come from Taraba, we were even amazed at the quick response of the government at the center. I'm happy because when people are killed, it's good government should respond immediately. And if this is done, it will stop further killings. Such a matter shouldn't be treated in isolation. So I sympathize with those who lost their lives, and I encourage our government to be very proactive at every reported case of killing. That we receive report, let us not act as if one life is more important than the other. Thank you, Mr. President.
Go straight to prayers. Prayer 1, observe the minute silence for the prayers of the deceased victims of brutal attacks. Those in favor of prayer 1 say aye. Those against say nay. There is a prayer 2, condemn these barbaric killings of innocent victims and wanton destruction of cattle and properties. Those in favor of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. There is a prayer 3, urge the federal government to take urgent measures to secure and protect lives, animals, and properties of citizens, and to also prevent further breakdown of land order and such attacks on the innocent citizens of the local government. Those in favor of prayer 3 say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Prayer 4, urge the federal government to set up a judicial panel to investigate the immediate and remote causes of the killings and destruction of lives and properties and identify the perpetrators with the aim of bringing them to justice. Those in favor of prayer 4 say aye. Those against say nay. There is a prayer 5 urge the federal government to station a formidable military base, active police and civil defense presence, and security surveillance in Sardauna local government of Taraba State. Those in favor of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. There is a prayer 6 urge the federal government as a matter of urgency direct NEMA to provide relief material to survivors and the families now in IDP camps. Those in favor of prayer 6 say aye. Those against say nay. As a prayer 7 contact the government or the Republic of Cameroon to determine the actual number of refugees and the animals in Cameroon. Those in favor of prayer 7 say aye. Those against say nay. Prayer 8 urge the federal government to use UNHCR National Commission for Refugees Nigerians concerned the plight of refugees in Cameroon and urging their arrange for their proper care, security and protection. Those in favor of prayer 8 say aye. Those against say nay. And prayer 9 direct the Senate Ad hoc Committee on the internal crisis to determine all issues connected to the crisis through appropriate terms of reference, take a tour of the affected areas and conduct thorough assessment for further investigation into remote and immediate cause of the crisis and report back within the next 4 weeks. Those in favor? Yeah, sure. Those in favor of this, probably, I don't know which committee you are referring to, Senator Yusuf.
The other committee of Senator Gaya.
The fresh one.
Yeah, I thought the other committee on you. Okay. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. Yes, thank you. Senator Leader of Senate. We'll take 1 minute as observe 1 minute silence. Gentle souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President,